That's doing.
Good.
You good? Am I allowed to have my water here, guys?
Yeah, you're allowed.
All right.
Scott's talking about the new energy and it being invigorating. Did you feel that? New coaches, a lot of new faces, new players.
Man, spring ball started. I'm happy, man. You ain't getting pumped up for this one. I don't know, something wrong with you, right? So being back on the field from last season, it's the first time being back on the field as a group with new kids, new faces. It's like, for me, it's like a coach opening up Christmas gifts right now. I get a chance to see what you recruited and see what you brought in, and get a chance to see what they got, coach them up, teach them, watch them compete. So it's like open up a new toy for me.
Totally different room for you, right? I mean, because Cam had a ton of experience, and your safeties had a ton of experience. So how's it kind of been adjusting to a different group of guys? Quite a few new.
7 new guys for me. Yeah, so there's 7 new guys in the room. So right now all 7 are here, but 5 of those 7 are here, and those guys, it's been excellent. Those guys, couldn't have brought in a better group of guys. Character-wise, those guys are awesome. Those guys jumped right in, and for the most part, the guys that were here already were younger players as far as being on the field, but veterans are part of the culture. Those guys, it's been phenomenal since they've been here.
You lose a lot of experience. Did you take that as a personal challenge?
Yeah, that's a personal challenge. It's always a challenge when you lose a lot of guys that's played a lot of football, and then you get some guys, and the first thing you say is inexperience.
Yeah.
And that's been the challenge for me. Like to say, get some guys that are inexperienced now to get them on the field and get them experience really fast. So give them as much reps as possible, game speed reps as possible. Let them go out and see what they got.
Where are the personalities in this room this year? I mean, you had so many big personality guys that were like for the whole defense last year.
Yep.
Where does that start with this group?
I got some character in there now, so it's pretty much some of the younger guys. Some of the younger guys that's coming in are not your typical young guy that's going to sit in the back of the room and don't talk. Today was the first day of meetings, and I asked a young kid a question, and he was the loudest guy in the room. He was yelling it fast. So, if I was the person sitting right next to him, I'd be, you know what I'm saying? So the energy's there, the character's there. Guys is making plays today on the field, showing a little character after the play. I let it go. I let it go today and let them see and let them feel good about themselves, being out there happy, flying around. So I think I got the character in the room I need.
Who's the young guy that responded like that?
I'm not calling the names, but I got some young guys that are going. At this point in spring ball, I'm not interested in making guys feel good. I pat them on the back when I need to, but I'm just grinding them. I'm just interested in grinding, trying to find out who I got in that room that'll keep going. So this spring is just all about putting our head down and grinding and grinding and grinding and grinding, and then we'll take a breather when it's time to, when we get a day off or something. We'll take a breather on days we don't practice, and take breathers on days we don't practice, and mental days where we can just get in and get those classroom days in. But right now, I don't want to grind. I don't want to bring that name out.
When you have 7 new guys that are coming in, 5 that are already here, what's the message then that you have to say to the guys that were already here that see those guys coming in?
It's depth in the room. It's depth in the room, and if you wasn't one of those guys that played 80% of the season last year, then your opportunity is now. And if you're one of those new guys that came to Nebraska because you saw that you had a chance to play here right away and be coached here and all the things that you saw when you chose this school, then the opportunity is there as well. So, I know for the most part those new guys couldn't wait to touch the field today because they saw themselves being able to play here, and that's why they couldn't wait to touch the field today. And those older guys, you know, I'll tell you a story. Like, you know, when I told those guys when I was in the NFL, even if I was a starter my whole entire career in the NFL, every year that I played in the NFL, the teams brought in someone to take my spot. I'm talking about every single year. So whether it was a first-round pick, and I was drafted in the second, and next year they drafted a first-round pick, or they took a free agency. They took a free agency in the offseason. You know, when we showed up to camp, I had to beat those guys out. I know those guys were brought in and had the money tags and all that, but I still had to beat those guys out. So just mentality, it's the same way here. Like, I brought in guys to not beat anyone's backup. You know,
Does Quentin react to that well?
got no choice.
How is he?
He's doing great. He's doing great. But I didn't bring guys here to be anyone's backup. I brought guys to play. And then if I was a guy that was here already, I'd be like, oh, it's time to pick it up. I need that. You know, so I think that's how Quentin reacts, if I had to answer that question for you. But that's the way I want it.
How much more is that mentality true in this transfer portal era, when it's not even a high school freshman, but it's a guy who maybe has a couple of years of college experience already?
Yeah, and it's, you take advantage of it a little bit because you bring in a guy that you know just left high school. He got to get in the weight room. He got to find his way around campus. You know, he got to learn how to tell mama, I'll call you back later. You know, she's stalling every, you know. And then you got guys that are been in college already, maybe a year or two, that kind of get it. Their mom is like, okay, you know, you're out the nest, buddy. I'm not calling you. I'll talk to you next week. You know, so then you got those guys that, you know, obviously, you know, been in college before, so it's a little different. Yeah.
What was your excitement level to be able to re-recruit Tommy Hill? I know he was a big target for you in the 2021 class. He went to Arizona State. He comes available again. You get him to campus right away. Were you pretty excited when you knew that he was in the transfer portal and you were going to get that opportunity?
Yeah, man, I was fired up by it. It was a competition part of that deal. I had deep down inside, you know, I lost him the first time, so I was like, oh, I get a chance the second time. I got to win this one. So I think Tommy knows. You know, Tommy mentioned to me a while ago that, you know, when he first got here, he said, hey, when I had the opportunity to recruit him again, he said, hey, man, coach, I should have came the first time. And so I think it was just a quick deal for him. And then he was fired up, man. He was fired up to touch the field today. So doing a great job.
You don't want. I mean, one way to look at it might be Quentin Newsom's maybe got a spot on one side and the other side there's guys competing. Is that the way to look at it?
No, it's the way to look at it for me is Quentin Newsom is part of the DB room,
Okay.
and Quentin Newsom will have to practice every day to keep to even be able to touch the field. He's gonna have to come with it, and I got some guys that can play.
And how much of Quentin's experience last year about not getting the black shirt at first and then sticking with it, how much of that can be something that we impart on those other young guys now that are having to compete for all those spots?
You know, one thing about that black shirt Quentin got last year is he earned it. That's the best thing about that. He earned that, and I think that you know, if Quentin continues to come and have the same approach that he's had and been able to be coached, because you got to think about it, it's tough to start for me for 12 games, because I'm asking guys to do things that guys in the National Football League do. All right, so it's tough to start for me for 12 games, and he did it. And so that makes it even tougher for somebody else coming in to take a spot. You know, he have to actually not have the same mentality in order for that to happen. So, you know, I just think Quentin is doing a great job, and if he continue to do a great job and have the right mindset, because it's easy sometimes to look back and don't see no one in your tail. But the right kind of player don't ever look back. You know, the right kind of player don't ever look back to see how far someone's behind. You know, the right kind of player just every day just look forward. And I think if Quentin can continue to do that, Quentin will be the next guy to play Sundays football here. And obviously it's going to help him out when the season starts. It's going to help him out a whole lot with the plays that he didn't make last year to make them this year.
What did you see from Deshaun Singleton that made him a priority for you as you were recruiting safeties this past spring?
Just a big guy that can cover, that can play corner as well. You watch his film; he's playing corner a lot of snaps. I had a chance to go up and watch him play, and when I watched him play, he's moving around the same way. So I think Deshaun, to take him as a corner sometimes would have been what most guys like, but it's the size part of it and movement skill part of it. Hey, you definitely can work in this defense being a safety. So, and Deshaun is doing a great job as well.
What about Omar Brown? How he came about and what he adds to this room?
Yeah, Omar's another one. Took a guy with some experience. That's played a lot of football on his level. Has been one of the top guys on his level. Coming in as a two-time All-American from Northern Iowa. Let's take a guy that's already in the Midwest and wanted to play football on a high level. So I think this was a good choice for Omar and a good pick for us as well.
Do you guys still have your production chart this spring?
One up today. One up today. Yep.
Who's the early clubhouse leader there?
I don't know. We had to cut film to come up and watch this, so when we go back and watch film, I got to finish it up. So, but it's some guys, young guys in the league so far.
I think you added 5 new faces for the spring. I mean, is that about as many as you ever added as a coach over spring?
Yep.
And how does that change the dynamic? You have that many new guys coming in trying to take jobs.
Well, let's say I had 7 after the season ended, right? So I had 7 guys with Cam and those guys leaving out, Deontay and those guys leaving out. So I had 7 guys, and then you go into Christmas with 7 with 7 guys, and they're probably sitting around in the room like, well, it's just us. We've been with each other for 3 years, Then you bring 5 new faces in, and then things start to tighten up. Like, most of all 5 of these guys played football before in college on that level. So I think for the most part, that's what I wanted to make that room competitive. Like I've always wanted to have that DB room competitive, and then bring guys that normally is in the same year, kind of want the same thing, and to have the kind of spring I want to have.
You just didn't want guys thinking the job's handed to them.
Oh yeah, that's the kind of world we live in. No one wants to work for it. They want that thing handed to them. So that's the total opposite of what I'm going to give them this year. Or what I'm going to give them this spring is something handed to them. So I don't have a first group, a second group, or a third group. I got an old group, and I got a new group. All right, so you'll see probably sometimes the most talented guys might be sitting in the new group. All right, but I only do that because nothing is going to be handed to anyone. All right, so and I'm going to move those guys around according to that. So it'll make a lot of sense to the guys when they're competing or why this young guy is in the old guy group. You know what I'm saying? If a young guy pops up in the old guy group, then he's doing something right. And if an old guy pops up in the young guy group, he knows immediately I'm not doing something right? So that's the way I wanted to have, So
Does the defense have an edge on the offense this spring? Because you guys are all, got a lot of guys back.
I don't know about that. I don't know about that. I mean, we got some new offensive staff pretty much, except for one. But
that's why I asked.
But we do got some guys over there that can play football that we brought in. So it's not like it's going to be a walk in the park when it comes to have the edge. As far as knowing the defense right now, yeah, absolutely. We got the same defensive staff pretty much for the most part. But, it's having the edge as far as the defense actually knowing the defense, defensive players actually knowing the defense, I think so. Not my room, but I think so.
I was just going to ask, what's the priority for the new guys this spring? Is it to learn most of the defense? And I guess, what are you guys hoping to accomplish with those new guys?
Yep, the priority for those guys is to know the playbook, just like they're an old guy. So it's no different than if those guys been sitting here for 3 years. I mean, we're talking spring ball. We're talking basically a whole new room almost, and then we're talking guys that want to play. And so guys that don't want to play can't be a young guy. You don't get a chance to watch a little bit of film. You know what I'm saying? If you want to play. It's a lot on the plate. But I think we brought the guys in here that can handle a lot on the plate.
Hey, I wanted to ask you about Deshaun. He was kind of an untraditional junior college player in that he kind of went to JUCO to improve his recruiting stock. He was only there for 1 year.
Mm-hmm.
Were you aware of him in high school? And if not, like, what jumped out to you about his play that it's like, I want to take this guy now?
Yeah, he was a basketball player. He was a highly recruited basketball player out of high school that wanted to play, that jumped in football and wanted to get recruited a little bit differently in football. And so he chose to come out this way to go to junior college. And then I found out about him just watching some film. And then I ended up one day it's crazy because I had some recruits in town and some DBs are in town. And then I had the opportunity, those guys were going to go home and take a nap. And I drove up to Deshaun's junior college game while they were taking a nap, watched him play, and then came back when they at dinner. Like I never left, so I had to do it, but it's just part of it. So I got a chance to get some game, watch him live in a football game before I actually made that decision on it.
What did you like? What do you like about his game? I think there's some expectation he may have to play early. So, what do you like about him?
Well, first of all, he's big, and I can't coach that. All right, so he's big, he can run, and I can't coach that either. All right, and but the best thing about him is he's smart, and he's very, very, very coachable. He's very humble. So, he's humble like a freshman that wants to play real bad. Not like a guy that's left junior college that comes to a school like he's very humble, so it's easy for me to coach him. Right now, if I had to say, if I've been here for 30 days and let's say those guys had 30 opportunities, 30 days to come in and watch film, he's been there every single day. So that's what I'm talking about. That's what I wanted, that guy that I could coach, that cocky guy.
Is that like Deontay? Was he like that too?
Deontay was like that too. Deontay was the same way. Deontay was that guy that just stayed in my office all day long, mature, very mature. And before you know it, Deontay was the captain on the defense. We didn't have Deontay, we were in trouble, So I think Deshaun would be a similar player like that.
What about Tommy Hill? You recruited him in high school. When you were with Arizona State, you got him back.
Yep.
Is he kind of what you thought he'd be, and where's he at right now?
Yeah, Tommy Hill is a very good football player. I mean, he makes plays all over the place. It's all about getting Tommy into the playbook, and he's in the playbook, and he's hungrier than a hungry dog, man. He's always trying to, hey, coach, how did I do? Hey, coach, what do you think about that? Hey, coach, what do you think about this? So made some plays today in practice. He's going to continue to make a lot of plays. His playmaking ability is up high. So looking forward to some good stuff from Tommy.
What are you looking forward to seeing out of Marcus Buford this spring?
He's been like my hidden gem for a while right there with him. Man, this kid here is he done surprised a lot of people because I got him at the safety position. And you look at him and say, 5'9", well, he's a corner. No, he can play any position in the secondary. So I got him at safety right now just because his size. You didn't think a guy like that would be so physical, but he ain't scared of nobody. I mean, he's fearless. So, I just wanted to, with his speed as well at the safety spot, to be able to, fly down and make tackles, make them look easy, and then also he can play corner. So he's kind of like my hidden gem. I think I might have said that before, or maybe I haven't. But he's like my hidden gem because I can put him anywhere in any group, and he's going to be the same. Yep. So it's all about experience, and the more experience, the more time he's out there, the more comfortable he gets, the more he's going to look really good. So.
This DB group as a whole, when you turn over as many guys as you did, do you get the sense that what you guys were good at in the secondary last year will be what you'll be good at this year? Or does this new talent maybe make you think that you guys might have different strengths?
I want to get better at tackling this year. I want to get better at tackling. Obviously, man, it's so hard to get these guys to bang on each other and stuff like that. But I want to get better with, personally. I'm just talking personally. I'm pretty sure as a defense we want to do the same thing. But I'm just talking this individual, the DB room. I know these guys can cover. I know these guys can cover. I know these guys has ball skills. And I know these guys don't have a problem with tackling either. But I want to improve that area because I think it makes us a better football team. Whether it's on special teams or whether it's on defense, I think it's very important, and I want to get better with that and try to keep the guys healthy at the same time, which I know is tough. But because I have so many guys, I think I can just do it a little more than I normally do it. So I want to get better with tackling.
Two guys I want to ask about. Noah Gates, kind of where he's at in the big picture. You got to get one more. Isaac Gifford, another guy. I mean, where are they at? And Tyreek Johnson. I mean, those are some guys that were around last year. Where do they kind of fit in the puzzle this spring?
Those guys were in the old man group today. So, I just mentioned a few minutes ago, I got a young guy group and an old guy group, and the old guy group is what people will say, hey, this is the first team. Those guys are in the old man group. So if we had to roll out, and then maybe ones versus ones, okay? That's who you will see out. You will see those guys in that one group. Even though I don't personally call them the one group, Coach Chins have to call them the one group, but I don't. I just call them the old man group, all right? Because there's no positions. There's no such thing as a one. All right, so those guys that's where you'll find those older guys at, though.
Do you have a JoJo type guy, or is that going to have to be kind of a couple guys playing that type of role?
Yeah, we got JoJo type of guy. Yeah, we got Nichols, we got Javen Wright, we got Isaac Gifford, we got I think Deshaun Singleton can play that spot. I think Marquise Buford can play that spot. There's a lot of guys. Miles Farmer can play that spot. A lot of guys can play that spot and play it really good. I think Miles Farmer and I think Deshaun Singleton, Miles Farmer will play that spot, and Javen Wright would be awesome. Those guys are huge. They're big. They're 6'2" or better. They're 200 and some pounds. Javen Wright is 220 right now, and they can run. They're in the DB room, so they can cover. They understand it. They've been in the system for a while. So there's guys. There's definitely guys.
Chins told me the other day that he thinks the Big Ten most closely resembles the NFL in terms of style of play and size. Do you see that? See where he's coming from, at least?
Yeah, some teams in the NFL. I think when you're playing against the Michigans and playing against those teams, yes. Yeah, I think the NFL is just it's way faster than this. It's way faster. I mean, I think when you're playing against Michigan, you got so many big guys on the field, and those big guys can move. They're not just big guys. They're big guys that can move. That's more like the NFL, I think, in my opinion. But if you're playing against, some of the smaller, not as big, players that they can move, they're fast, but not as big. I don't think the NFL has just small, tiny guys on the field like that.
How much? Why do you want to tackle better in your group? I mean, what led you to that conclusion?
All the film that I watched, over the study of this year, the one that made me feel, even if pass-wise, there's some things I can take away in the past that we could have done a little bit better. But I think for the most part, those guys competed on the outside and competed at safety, and they also tackled very good at some times. But it was times that I felt like just technique-wise and tackling, it wasn't just as a coach something that I was proud of. So I just wanted to do better with that, and I just wanted to do better. Now, even though it wasn't a whole bunch on tape, it was just some, but just a little some. I wanted to give the guys a chance to go out and show that they're better tacklers. And it's improvement parts. Whether it's you're going from a B to an A, you're still going up. You know what I'm saying? So Yeah.
How much did Trey Palmer kind of cut it up with your guys already? I mean, I've seen him around. He definitely likes to talk. Has it been already pretty?
Good character, man. Them guys got good character. They got, a lot of energy, and, in between reps, he's dancing, and, Tommy Hill's the same way. In between reps, you never catch him tired. You never catch him tired. So I think just guys with some character going on, and it's good character. No taunting, just guys that just want to compete and want to work and help us be a better football team.
Who are the leaders in your room right now? Because, I mean, you had Cam, you had Deontay, you had Markel, they're gone. Who's kind of assuming those leadership?
Miles Farmer, Quentin Newsome, Braxton Clark are the three that I can name off the top of my head real quick. They're guys that have been with me for a while. They're guys that are, for the most part, hold the room accountable, hold themselves accountable, and I think that guys that are what we're looking for as players, true black shirts.
When you're in your fifth spring as the position coach too, does that established culture make this sort of a transition easier when you bring in a lot of new guys, but everybody else there knows what the expectations are?
Yeah, it's easy for me. It's easy for me because I don't have to work as hard to chase guys around Lincoln like I did when I first got here, first couple of seasons. I don't have to chase guys to class. I'm getting less calls from dentists for academics, stuff like that, and that's the culture. It's only one time I had to get on that room because a freshman didn't have a ride. All right, but I think that was the only time I'm going to ever have to do that. Because they know I don't play that. Like a freshman, a new guy here, they need a ride, he better get picked up. So by somebody in our room, and that's just rules. That's just the culture in the room. So I only happened one time with this spring, but I think for the most part, man, I don't have to do the things I used to have to do with those guys.
Did you guys go outside today, practice, or was it inside?
Special teams. Yeah.
How much do you want your guys on special teams?
I want all of them on special teams. I want all of them on special teams. That was one of the things when I was recruiting these guys. And hey, if Coach Frost want to give me 3 guys, okay, I go get 3 guys. But if I get 3 guys and he say, okay, well, you got another one, and I go get another, oh, you got another 2. Well, let's go get another 2. So as long as you let me go get them, go get them. So I want all those guys to be able to play special teams stuff.
Is there more of an emphasis on that moving forward?
Always, always big time emphasis on special teams. But if you think about it, I got guys that's played football. I've got a lot of guys that's actually played in football games, whether it's a junior college game or played at another institution or whatever the case may be. They've played special teams. They've played in a game before. So it's not like I'm rolling out the ball with a whole bunch of I haven't played together before, which is important, but you know what I'm saying?
Because you were relating that NFL experience. Do you think you get guys attention more because of that? Because you can point to 7 years starter in the league.
What do you say?
Can you get guys attention more because you played in the NFL for that long and started that long?
Yeah, I can. Yeah, I think it's a help that I get their attention, and also I can show them. Just being able to show those guys. I don't do a lot of showing, but when I have to show, I show it. I put it out. But for the most part, those guys are able to see themselves on film and see themselves become successful on plays because of what I'm telling them. And then for the long time coaching this defense, they've seen guys that I've helped develop that's now playing on Sundays do the same thing I'm teaching them. So you got guys like DiCaprio Boodle, that wasn't a draft pick, but he made the team. That means it should have been a draft pick. But there you go. You see guys like DiCaprio Boodle doing the same thing that I'm teaching you, and you know you can make it.
You show Ashton, you'll show him video of you playing? sometimes?
Yeah, I got some video of me playing in the system. I got some one-on-ones with me and Torrey Hope or Isaac Bruce or some things like that. Some things. Kurt Warner throwing the ball. Just some things that I got all that kind of stuff that they can see. So.
Is high def around for that, or is that?
Nah. I try to get my stuff going on with some high def, man. They can't switch my tapes over, man.
Of course, they love the time you picked up Kurt
With the low blow right there.
That was a low blow.
Yeah, man.
Warner.